Every year, 2.3 billion cans of Pringles are sold worldwide, generating over $3 billion in revenue. To meet this massive demand, giant harvesters collect tons of potatoes. But how are 10 million chips produced every day? We visited the Pringles factory to uncover how one of the world's most famous snacks is made. Pringles were created by Frederick Bauer, a chemist at Procter & Gamble in the 1960s. He set out to solve a common issue for potato chip lovers. Traditional chips were too greasy, broke easily, and came in bags half filled with air. It wasn't until 1965 that Bauer designed the perfect chip. His goal was simple but challenging: create a chip uniform in size and shape that wouldn't break during shipping and absorbed less oil during frying. After months of research and development, he had a groundbreaking idea. Instead of slicing potatoes and frying them as always done, he decided to make chips from mashed potatoes. The result was a true innovation: a crisp, flavorful, and perfectly stackable chip. Its distinctive saddle-like shape, known as a hyperbolic paraboloid, was precisely designed so the chips could nest without breaking. Procter & Gamble was impressed and moved forward with the idea. But Bauer faced a problem. The chips were too fragile for bagging, so he created a container that not only protected the chips during shipping but also kept them fresh longer. Thus, the iconic Pringles cylindrical can was born. In 1968, Pringles launched and became an instant hit. People loved their shape and unique flavor. Today, Pringles are sold in over 140 countries and come in more than 100 flavors, from classics to some exclusive to specific regions. Each year, about 2.3 billion cans are sold globally, generating over $3 billion. That's roughly 6 million cans a day, or 73 cans per second. An estimated 10 million chips are produced daily in factories. The process starts with harvesting potatoes. When potatoes are ready, the fields look like a green carpet. That's when a massive harvester, capable of collecting up to 5 tons, swings into action. The machine moves over the rows with powerful traction. Blades lift the potatoes from the ground along with dirt and roots. They then move to a vibrating screening belt. This belt shakes off loose dirt and small rocks, while the potatoes continue to a hopper. The system is designed to minimize impacts that could damage the tubers. Once the harvester is full, the massive load is transferred to a truck headed straight to the factory. The factory receives a delivery of 50,000 kilos of potatoes daily. Pringles potato flakes start with large batches of high-quality fresh potatoes. The potatoes are in for an exciting transformation. Upon arrival, they're carried by a conveyor to the washing station. This isn't just any rinse. They're submerged in a large tank where a hydro washing system agitates the water to remove all dirt and debris. Once thoroughly cleaned, they're ready for peeling. To remove the skin, the potatoes tumble into a large drum lined with a surface as rough as coarse sandpaper. As they roll and bounce, this abrasive texture gently strips the skin, leaving the potatoes ready to become smooth, perfect Pringles. This machine can peel about 12,000 pounds of potatoes per hour. Once peeled, an operator inspects the white flesh for bruises or defects. The potatoes then move by conveyor to the cutting station. But first, they're briefly dipped in a scalding bath. This hot bath serves 2 purposes. It softens the potato for a clean cut and deactivates enzymes that could affect the flavor and color. The potatoes are then fed into a rotating cylinder spinning at 1,200 revolutions per minute. Inside, razor-sharp blades await. The centrifugal force from the spin throws the potatoes against the blades. They're first cut into strips, then another set of blades slices the strips into small cubes. This process is lightning fast. In less than a second, a whole potato becomes tiny cubes. The cubes travel on a vibrating conveyor to prevent clumping. Special cameras detect any imperfections or damaged areas. The next machine steams the cubes at about 345 degrees Fahrenheit. Once perfectly cooked, they're mashed into a smooth, lump-free puree by an industrial drum with a metal arm that mixes relentlessly. Here's where the real magic begins. The puree is spread evenly onto a rotating drying drum and subjected to intense heat. The water evaporates, forming thin, flexible sheets. These dried sheets are ground into potato flakes, the base for Pringles dough. Once the flakes are ready, It's time to add the other ingredients. In a large mixer, the flakes are combined with water, cornstarch, rice flour, wheat starch, corn flour, salt, and emulsifiers that stabilize the mix. The resulting dough isn't like bread dough, but more like coarse, wet sand. The dough then travels by conveyor to a screw feeder that spreads it evenly. A giant roller presses it with 4 tons of pressure, leaving it just a millimeter thick. A rotary cutter then shapes the dough into ovals. Leftover dough isn't wasted. It's recycled and remixed. The cut chips then head to the fryer, where they get their famous concave shape, making them easier to stack. A roller molds them into a hyperbolic paraboloid, while they fry in 390 degrees Fahrenheit oil. The chips spend 11 seconds in hot oil until crisp. This sets their shape, giving them that golden color and signature crunch. They're then cooled with 100 degrees Fahrenheit air to remove excess oil. Next, they get their signature seasoning on top. Each Pringle is seasoned with precision. Every day, 6,000 pounds of spices are used to cover over 160 available flavors. Thanks to their shape, Pringles fall into perfect stacks, making packaging easy. A quality control worker inspects the chips for breaks, under-seasoning, or defects. They're then weighed to ensure each can has the right amount. An automated scoop loads them into cans, and a system arranges them perfectly. A seal is placed, and a metal base tightly closes the can. Before shipping, Pringles undergo a unique test, a blind taste test to avoid visual bias. Tasters evaluate cooking, texture, and seasoning, always placing the chip seasoned side up on their tongue. If a single chip fails, the entire batch is discarded. Once they pass quality control, the cans are packed and shipped to distribution centers, stores, and supermarkets worldwide. If you want to know how Cheetos are made, watch the video on your screen, and please like the video if you enjoyed it and share it with someone who might be interested. Also, subscribe to this channel by activating the notifications to continue learning. Thanks for watching,